indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item up, approval of agenda items.
I'll move.
Laura moves, do I hear a second?
Second.
Doug seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, now the recognition of our Raiders of the Month.
Yeah, best part of our day and of this meeting is celebrating our Raider Profile winners. And this month, we welcome up Mr. Matus and the Raider students from the elementary school.
Good. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming tonight. Here to recognize some very special students. So I will call up our staff and our students. So boys and girls, when I call your name, just come on up. And we have some very special things to recognize you for this evening. So first, if I could have from kindergarten, Emerson Stanko, come on up, and Mrs. Masucci. Just come right on here, stand next to Mrs. Masucci.
Mr. Matus,
Emerson.
maybe on the other side of you.
Oh, yeah, come on. Why don't you guys come right over here? Emerson, you want this is for you. What the t-shirt do you sweet?
Okay. I recommended Emerson for recognition because she gives great effort in my class and has a very positive attitude every day, and she contributes a lot to my classroom. She is a student who truly stands out, not just for what she knows, but for her enthusiasm and the kindness that she brings every day to my classroom. She comes to class excited to learn, and she has a lot of background knowledge. She enjoys sharing her experiences and ideas and often helps her classmates to understand new things that they are having trouble with. They help them understand new concepts. She's especially strong when discussing stories and answering questions. Emerson's kind and friendly nature has helped her to build a large circle of friends, and she always gives more than 100% to everything she does, which is especially impressive for a kindergarten student. She participates often in class and is usually the first one to help me or a student who needs any help at all. One quality that really sets her apart is her ability to talk comfortably with adults. She asks me to share stories about my childhood just about every day. We have some great stories, don't we? I'm sure you've heard some of them. And then she thoughtfully connects those stories to her own life experiences. Her confidence and her curiosity and her ability to make personal connections shows a level of maturity beyond her years. Emerson should be recognized for her hard work, her positive attitude, and the many ways in which she makes my classroom a better place to learn. Congratulations, Emerson.
Go over with Emerson, just right over there by the column. Yeah, just wait right over there. Yeah, take everything right over there. Wait, take a picture here. Okay, next up from first grade, if we could have Carson McAtee come on up with Mrs. Massey. Just stand right over here.
Yeah.
Sure. Carson.
Okay. Thank you. Carson is a student who takes pride in being responsible, kind, and respectful. She is a role model to her fellow peers who recognize her everyday commitment to achieving the learning goals for the day. She is inquisitive and always enthusiastic about learning new things. She is passionate about art, her family's Ukrainian traditions, and her hobby of sewing and entering her projects into the Campfield Fair. Along with her excellent academic performance, Carson communicates well with her peers and shows empathy to others. She demonstrates resilience while working on hard tasks, which inspires others to aim high. Thank you, Carson, for adding so much light and love to our classroom.
Okay, next from second grade, one of my favorite names in the whole school. We could have Hans Gruber come on up with Mrs. Less. Hans,
Okay, Hans fits the Raider profile by being generous. He is always thinking of others before himself. Every time there is a donation drive, Hans is determined to give all he can. It's not about earning a prize, but it's about of the goodness of his heart. He is motivated to learn. Hans is kind, respectful, and a hard worker. He puts in 100% effort and always tries his best. He also cheers on his classmates when they do something great, and he encourages them to keep trying. Hans is a great example of what it means to be a Raider.
next from third grade, if we could have Sienna Spezial come on up with Mr. Irons and Mrs. Martz.
Sienna is a student who shows what it means to be a Raider. She's caring and friendly. She's a caring and friendly classmate who naturally includes others and makes sure that everyone in the class always has a partner. Her outgoing, funny personality helps classmates feel welcome and encourages cooperation during group work. She often brightens the classroom with a positive attitude. She shows strong leadership by checking in with peers and helping create a positive, fun learning environment. Sienna often brags about her 35 siblings. Her family regularly fosters kids who need homes, and Sienna loves being a sister to all of them. She uses her grit even when things are difficult. Sienna lives by the motto that we have in the elementary of doing the right thing even when no one is watching. We're proud to nominate Sienna for this Raider profile and know she'll continue to be a strong leader in our Raider community. Congratulations.
And in fourth grade, if we could have Taryn McPhee come on up with Miss Keenan and Mrs. Beck.
We are proud to nominate Taryn McPhee as our Superstar Raider. Taryn displays all the qualities daily on what it means to be a Raider. She is kind, helpful, takes pride in her work, and is a beloved member of our class. Her classmates and teachers adore her as she is a champion for all of us all the time. Taryn uplifts and encourages those around her. Her positive nature always shines through. Taryn shows compassion to her classmates and is always there with a helping hand. She uses her grit and creativity when problem solving and is a quiet, humble leader when working in groups. Taryn always has a welcoming smile on her face. One of my favorite parts of the day is when we head to lunch and she sees her younger sister Riley. Both of their faces light up, and many days we even do a group hug together. Taryn is just such a bright light in the lives of all of us. The last thing Taryn does before she leaves every day is she helps me around the classroom to make sure all the computers are plugged in and the class is cleaned up. She always goes the extra mile to make sure everyone is happy and taken care of. We are so blessed to be her teachers and present this award to her tonight.
So at this time, parents, we're going to take a picture of the students and their teachers. We'll take it right behind here. Give us a second so you can take it. All right, eyes on me. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, parents. Parents, if you want any pictures, this time is yours. Definitely, we can assist in the photography.
Okay, everybody on me. Look at me. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Thanks.
One, cool boy. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Anybody else? One more round of applause for our Rangers. Thank you. Parents, give us a second to clean up, and if you want to stay for the rest of the meeting, absolutely, feel free to stay. But if you want to go get dinner and enjoy your evening, this is a great time to exit out. Thank you, guys.
Danger.
Thanks for coming. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. I appreciate
Which night? Yeah, thank you. You work here. Yeah, I put it on your desk. Next up is public participation. If you can please state your name and the city where you reside. You have about 2 minutes per speaker and a maximum of 15 minutes total. So if anybody would like to. Yeah, agenda items only.
All right, and I believe whether you approve open enrollment or not is an agenda item tonight, so I'd like to address that. Right here, I just had the fun job in the last week or so of paying my property tax bill. I give you guys $11 a day, 365 days a year. I don't mind paying the money. Somebody paid for my kids when they went here. I don't mind paying the money. But I do mind when we are using that money to fund kids who are coming here via open enrollment. And it's not about the kids. I don't blame parents for trying to get in here. I moved out here, built a house out here because I wanted my kids to go here. People think I hate this district. If I was doing it all over again, I would probably do the same thing, to be honest with you. It's a good place to raise a kid. My issue with the school, aside, I still have no regrets about having done that. But the problem I have is we only get about $5,000 a kid for open enrollment. According to the state of Ohio, I've got it printed here, we're spending about $11,000 a kid to put them through here. So we're losing money. Last year, you had the perfect opportunity when Debbie Speece retired not to replace her. You only had, I think, 52 or 53 resident kids for kindergarten. We should have dropped down to, at the most, 3 kindergarten teachers. You wouldn't have had to fire anybody, you're just not replacing people. That's what other districts, Canfield, Boardman, Springfield, Poland, that's how they've done it. They've right-sized the district over the years. This isn't a problem any of the 5 of you created, you inherited. It started back, I think, in 2012. It was mostly done, in my opinion, to preserve the sports and enhance the sports programs. We wanted students, we wanted bodies. I'm asking you again tonight, it can be done. I'm not telling you have to completely reverse open enrollment. You don't have to eliminate the whole thing next year, but I would at least hope you will start to chip off at it, start to reduce it.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rich. Anyone else? Now on to communications with the superintendent.
Yeah, thank you. First, I'd like to report out on our safety and resources goal. So in accordance with policy 5517, bullying and other forms of aggressive behavior, at least semi-annually, I have to update the board on our bullying incidents from the first semester. And I did update the website, and I know I shared it with Mrs. Lally, where there was one incident in K through 12. And this is confirmed, verified bullying. There's a whole process that we have to do for confirmed, verified bullying with investigations, and the administrators were trained last year and then used that new process to align with our board policy. Next, with our student performance update, at our quarterly administrative Getting Better Every Day meetings, our team collaborated on our student performance district goal. And again, the purpose of this is to share updates on student performance, ask about support, what do buildings need, and how can we meet that need, and so forth. And it was a really great meeting in which we celebrated a lot of student and staff successes. We reviewed recent NWEA MAP. It's one of the new 5 approved assessments statewide that we do have. We looked at 3rd grade reading guarantee results. And just as an example, in January of 2026 for the elementary school, there are 16 areas that we look at to see, are we growing kids and are kids getting better achievement-wise? So growth versus achievement. And out of 16 areas, we improved 15 from last year. In the middle school, in math, we improved 9 out of 10 of those areas. And in ELA, it was really great to see 8 out of 10 of those areas. So in 20 areas overall in the middle school, we grew 17 from last year at this time. And it's really great to see the teachers' hard work and the students' hard work and the aides, everybody contributes, as well as our instructional leaders with the principals. Continuing, I'd like to report out with Safety and Resources. I'm proud to share with the board that to date, our team and myself, we've been awarded over $138,000 in grant dollars for safety and safety features on the bus in the school, as well as professional development. We have ferociously applied for grants, and we are working to put those grants to good use with a lot of safety enhancements, and we've had a lot of discussions on the buses and on the school campus. A couple more updates. First, I'd like Mr. Zolik to update the board on our career tech and workforce development goal that we have for the district on what we're doing with secondary planning at the high school.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First off, I'm really disappointed that everybody didn't stay to hear this. Most people leave. Jared asked me to do a quick presentation. I had this big slideshow ready to go, and then he said, you got 3 minutes, so you're stuck with 1 minute of information. So, careers. We start talking about careers way back in elementary school, progresses to middle school, and then into high school. And the, what is the goal of education? Basically, we want students to graduate and be successful in a career, get a job, right? So by the time they get to high school, we want them to sort of focus in on a potential career because it can dictate your educational journey, right? I mean, am I interested in something, or do my aptitudes suggest that I am going to get into a career that would require me to go to the vocational school, the career center, a college prep pathway. So we, in collaboration with the ESC, had our freshmen take what is called the U-Science aptitude, career aptitude, I'll say test, but it's 11 brain games where they determine aptitudes. And this is I have it on this infographic, what comes naturally to me. So this is different from interests. Traditionally, you look at interests. But those change. If not day to day, year to year. I'm interested. I want to be a professional athlete when I'm young. Now I want to be a gamer. 2 years from now, I want to. Who knows? So those change, but the aptitudes rarely change. They stay consistent over time. So we put our freshmen through this test, and what this does is it combines your passions, your interests, with those abilities that come naturally, and it recommends careers. It recommends clusters and pathways. So the clusters like the umbrella, and then pathways are specific jobs within that cluster. And so what I have here for you is those 9th grade discovery results are on the left-hand side of that infographic. That shows you the top three career pathways that came from our students taking this aptitude test. You see rank number 1 as far as aptitude goes was the supply chain and transportation. The top interest was management and entrepreneurship. And you can read the rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. So we take this data, and what we will do now, next steps, we already have career talks. We have people coming in who have jobs in these fields coming in to talk to our kids, because this is what our students are showing that could be potential careers for them. So we're trying to match speakers. We're going to job fairs. We're going to visit job sites, all in alignment with the interests, the top interests and the top aptitudes. So moving forward, hopefully, if it's an interest and a high aptitude, we can match these kids up with something that they want to pursue for a lifetime, basically. So I think I kept it under 3 minutes.
That's good.
If you need anything, if you have questions about it, feel free to give me a call and I can explain it in further detail.
Thank you.
So really exciting revisions, I want to say, or additions to the high school curriculum. It's really fun to see where we're headed at the high school and how it goes 7 through 12. So speaking of CTE, we receive many services such as the career counseling services from our our local ESC. So the career counselor is a purchase service through the ESC. And when my legal update the 19th in February, there's a new bill a new law that they're talking about, creating a new bill to make this mandate that every district works with a career counselor to literally do what we just did. It's not a bill yet, but there's an effort to make this because it's so important with our economy in Ohio. So to see our career counselor working with the ESC, how close they work, and Gina and the ESC, it's such a great partnership with Mrs. Berkey, who does really great work at the high school with these career counselors. Speaking of career counselors, I've placed the ESC service report on the share drive for your review. Please look at that information because then I'm placing the ESC, the entire contract, on the March board agenda. So you have between now and March to really look at all of these. I can sit with you to look at a lot of these services, and you'll see it is a cost of economy scale. So services, how much utilization is being utilized, it determines cost, okay? And I can go through all of that. Again, career counselor are one of those services that we utilize to help you can see the great work at the high school. And lastly, I'd just like one more safety and resources update. We work to communicate transparently always. And I just want to remind the board every single day about safety, it's on our mind. We respect parents' desire for the details, but sometimes we legally cannot provide every detail of every situation. This especially applies to student conduct violation that happened last Thursday, February 19th. So as a public school, we have the district responsibility of balancing education and the safety of all kids while respecting the dignity of the individual student who might violate the code of conduct or experience a personal crisis while at school. This was the nature of the incident that happened last Thursday. And as a district, we shared the most pertinent information with parents, which was that students, staff, and the campus remain safe and secure, okay? For safety drills and other unannounced safety issues, we work to provide timely information within the confines of the law. About a month ago, we had a fire alarm go off, and we ran over here, and we were standing right here, and we put a text out, like, parents, we're on it, there's a safety issue, we're on it right now, here's the most updated information and so forth. So as a brief recap of the occurrences on February 19th, I just want to update the board. We had a strong first responder and local authority presence because of a rescheduled drill that morning that was supposed to be this week, but because it was 60 degrees, the principals and our SRO said, let's do this drill today. So we got on the phone call, hey, why don't you come to South Range? We're gonna have this drill later on today. With the text message, we wanted to inform parents of this presence so they knew everything was okay, and if they were to drive by the school and observe the first responders. Right around the time of the drill, it was determined it was the same time preschool was getting out, and they see ambulance and fire trucks, and we just rescheduled this drill. Then we wanted to be clear about an individual code of conduct violation from earlier that morning that was involved and handled by the middle school team and the staff. Afterwards, we then encouraged anyone with questions to contact us, and we're thankful for the 10 individuals who did so in the 6 days since last Thursday. This code of conduct violation did not reach the criteria for a lockdown because of all the aforementioned circumstances, and we communicated this information via text. We didn't want to alarm people. Lockdown, most time people think severe, because that's how we were all trained with Alice and other evacuation scenarios for lockdown. As we continue to gather input, as we've done for the 10 parents that we've met with, our peace and safety team and public relations specialists, we are examining this feedback and evaluating for the future so we can always get better with providing timely information within the confines of the law. All students must follow the code of conduct. I'm going to say that again. All kids must follow the code of conduct. And we also must follow individual plans if they're needed, as well as the progression of discipline among a myriad of safety drills and other enhancements for safety and security. I just wanted to do a real brief update to the board on that. And with that being said, I just thank you again for giving me the opportunity to communicate.
Any of the board members have any questions?
No, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
Before we continue on, I just wanted to let people know if Dr. Dawson gets a call.
I'm on trauma call, so again, we have a meeting.
But our emergency levy, since we've now talked about this several times about how the panic of this being ending at the end of 2026, could you update us on how that bill has changed?
Yeah, so they moved, they call it the emergency levy, they call it fixed sum levy now. So they changed the name of the levy and they moved it into the 2024 calculation. That actually, our levy actually goes through tax year 2028, collection year 2029. So we will theoretically, if not renewed, we'll stop receiving taxes in tax year 29, which would be fiscal year 30, which is not on the forecast.
So yeah, we won't see that, but that's something that has changed in the last 2 months because we thought that we were going to be losing that money as of next year. And no, we're not. Okay, that was all I had for that. Thank you.
So actually, I'm confused. So
there was talk about eliminating the fixed sum levy, and that was just one of the
The emergency levy.
Yeah, the emergency levy. There's
so we're not losing any money.
no one of the bills that allows us to renew the emergency as a fixed sum. So
Okay.
back when I talked, we thought we weren't able to renew it, but we can as a fixed sum levy.
Okay.
But as the years go, which will have to be talked whether to, it'll be a couple years ago,
But
we'll
it's
be
something
determined
that we
whether
have to
to
pass
whether renew that
through
or go
voters,
through
correct?
that.
At that time, we will either we will have to do something because it is going away. We'll be able to renew it, but it's essentially going to be a new levy because we won't be able to renew it as an emergency levy. It will now be on the bill as a fixed sum levy. Fixed value, fixed sum levy. So either way, we are going to have to put something on there, but the difference is whether or not that levy is going to be calculated in our 20 mil minimum, and it is now going to be. Is that right?
Correct, yeah.
So-
It'll just fund it outside of it.
So, there's a graph in my mind that nobody else can see, but, so we're gonna have to do something, but not not today.
Okay.
Yeah, which is nice.
What year are we looking that we're going to have to?
Next year.
Next
We
year?
should start talking about it, but
Start talking
2028.
about it. Yeah, so tax year 2028 is the year it expires, so that's the first year we can do anything.
Okay.
And then it's collected in 2029.
So we have
Some
time
opportunities.
to, we certainly have a lot of time to discuss what our options are,
Yeah.
but, 6 months ago, it was gonna have to happen like now. So that's good, they helped us.
Is that a now purchase order?
Yeah, it was just, some of your book, just timing, so that's above the threshold, I'm allowed to approve it without work with it.
And then,
Yeah, a motion for the staff resignations, Elena, Mrs. Maynard, and Dwight Stacy. Elena served us for 9 years. Cindy Maynard, 21 years, 11 as high school, and 10 years with Mr. Mays. Yeah, that's 10 years. It's a huge loss, she's amazing. And longtime driver Dwight Stacy served 21, this was his 22nd year. So just resignations and retirements you can see there. And then continuing with classified staff new hires, we have a lot of student workers helping Dean in the team. They're doing a great job. Love talking to those guys. I don't know where Dean is. As well as Tier 3 driver and Mrs. Curry, who is a driver, but she also helps Mr. Matus at recess. So we are able to utilize some of our existing staff to help with the elementary school recess. Item F is a host of supplementals. I just appreciate, Mr. Farron and Mr. Miller and Ms. Crumpack in the track group and breaking up all those stipends and giving to me the information. It's fun to calculate all that. And there's just a host of those coaches for the spring sports. Continuing volunteers, item G, this is indoor track. These coaches are all helping with that, as well as Ms. Starkey helping volunteer for this year in softball. Continuing item H, this is a non-bargaining unit that's done this job a long time, and we have an agreement because this person's done this for quite some time that he gets an additional percentage, and we appreciate everything that Coach does. Coach, I appreciate everything you do, man. You go above and beyond. People don't realize all that you do, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Continuing, this is our Raider Care. Now, I work really close with Mrs. A, and just keep Mrs. A and her family, in your thoughts. She's dealing with some family issues right now, but she has worked to not operate in the red. So when this was first created, it was supposed to be to help our families out, and she just wasn't supposed to really be detrimental to the district, because this is something good, before and after care. Well, Mrs. A noticed that, we were operating in the red. So she called a meeting with Mario, organized this whole thing, and has really turned it around. And for next year, that there is going to be a price increase if families need this before and after care. It's going to go from $9 to $10. And Patty thinks that should be good with staffing and so forth with that price increase. Continuing, this is item K, the membership. This is our Ohio, it's an annual every year that we are part of Ohio Athletic Association, and this is just our annual approval for OSHA. Item K is our board policy talks about Title I, and we simply have to announce to the public we have a Title I policy. So that's what this is. It's an annual increase on that, or an annual notice on that Title I policy.
motion to approve the consent agenda items.
I'll second.
Liz moves, Tyler seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, pass. Treasurer regular agenda items?
The financial forecast, just, there wasn't much change from the fall. Like I said, we're only about a little over about 7 months worth of data. We haven't been receiving our real estate taxes yet. We'll start getting them now, and through the end of March, beginning of April. So then that's why I still want to do a May update, just because we'll have a lot more data, available trends, and then also what our real estate collection percent would be. Collection splits will determine which year, those kind of stuff. Yeah. So other than that, not much changes. I know some of the questions that were presented to kind of highlight other revenue. The term tuition was used. So it's not considered open enrollment funding, but court-placed kids and open enrollment students that are in, I guess, special education, you can submit to try to get reimbursement for some of those costs. So the biggest revenue drivers in that line item is your interest, which with the interest rates over the last few years jumped up dramatically, and then your tuition costs or revenue. That's the main stuff. Then you have your fees, Medicaid reimbursement, and then some of the other revenue highlighted items in that line.
So it's special education is the tuition on that?
There's regular and special. So you have your court-placed, more regular students that get some revenue for, so they're not in the formula.
Okay,
And then for your over-enrollment kids that are special,
okay,
you could go back to try to get some of that expense back.
do
Yeah.
we? And do we get, how much of it?
It's different by disability, so there's a
So
threshold of like A, B, C, D. A gets this, B gets that.
Okay.
So you have to look at the.
So there's two forms you fill out, one's a per capital form. or
Because I
specific.
see on the forecast you have, it's $1 million, just over $1 million for the total other revenues. But you're saying we get some of that back?
Yeah, so like I said, there's the court place and your over, so there's roughly,
Okay.
it's jumped up, as you can see in the last couple of years, it's jumped up dramatically, but then it's starting to go back down. So you kind of look at, it's called per capita form, so if you can't assign specific cost to a student, they have like an average reimbursement. So then they look at, well, here's your average cost for the student, here's how much we funded you for, which we're still trying to find reports on how they determine how much they fund for each kid to try to tie back to, but we can't get that. Then they give us so much for it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So
The
that's
word,
the
the word
biggest-
tuition was confusing to
And
me
that's how
because
they-
I thought, I don't understand, we don't charge tuition. Okay,
yeah, that's how they get classified on their terms. So if you look at our foundation settlement reports, it would be like all those other items. Purchase service, so it has increased from 3 years ago over like $600,000. I did like
Yeah.
highlight some of the main areas. So I know the ESC contract's a big topic of conversation. The biggest cost driver for that contract is, as Dr. Sapolon mentioned, is utilization. So preschool has been a topic of conversation. It's not that we're it's our kids that live here that qualify for special education has been increasing every year. So the days that we need to educate that child has increased over the previous years. So that's one of the biggest cost drivers, roughly over 150,000 compared to 3 years ago.
for just the preschool kids?
And it's not because the cost per student has remained relatively close. It is the number of days
Okay.
needed because we have a higher, and it's not just us, it's around the state. The special education of students coming up is increasing. So that's one of the items. And then,
And even though our preschool, we still have to pay as a
Yeah.
school district, and we are local kids.
So traditionally, years ago,
Right,
there were
understand that.
4 or 5 kids that qualify for child fund.
Okay, and the reason I brought this question up is because our shared services, our shared purchases it's a $2 million line item
oh yeah,
in our
that's-
expenses. So I thought, okay, that's big enough that I wanna ask what that is. Okay,
Yeah, so that's one. So then also the ESC is, so we reduce some personnel that we pay and get through the ESC. So over the years, when our psychologist left for another position, we contracted with the ESC for those days instead of hiring themselves. So we were able to save, I think, at least $30,000 by doing that. But it still costs us roughly $80,000 for with, I mean, it's hard to see because you have negotiated agreements that increase those line items, but those line items would be higher if we hire them ourselves.
okay,
Another thing that changed, it would have been fiscal year '24, we started using the Honey Valley COG for substitute costs instead of paying the substitute teacher ourselves. Again, moves those costs from the salary and benefits, moves to the purchase service line. So that was roughly about around 135,000 in expected costs. That also drove that number up.
okay,
And then utilities was the other big cost driver.
okay.
And then CCP was another one that was roughly
Okay.
60,000.
How much was CCD?
Last year was 150,000. 3 years ago it was about 90. So this year we're still waiting on trends, but I have it forecast around 150, 155.
Okay,
So we're a semester behind how I get billed. So we paid for, right now we pay for last spring, summer, and fall. So that information's still getting forecasted. So we're always like a semester behind in terms of CCP costs.
okay, well, there's $450,000 you just addressed
Yeah.
real easily. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
then electricity is,
Explain this, so the district pays for our students to take CCP, and that's why we're trying to get a number of our teachers to get credentialed, so that cost comes down.
And we're also looking at online courses through Stark State, which you'll see later on in the board agenda, because they ask for rigor at a lower price for the district. So the kids are taking it anyways. It's a significant savings.
So we're hoping to see
But it's the state law says that you have to offer any university 50 miles within your school zip code, you have to offer a different university.
Right.
So we can't say, guys,
Right.
take Start State, take Start State online.
Okay.
Now, if you're going to YSU in person, we're not talking about those kids. We're talking about the bulk of kids that take it online. So
Right.
we're hoping that Mrs. Berkey last week had that meeting, the CCP meeting, and we're hoping more people were to take the online version of Start State simply. And I hate to say that way,
know.
but it's when
I
you're
know.
comparing apples and apples, it's like, hey, this is a green apple that tastes a little bit better.
So where are we at with our teachers being credentialed?
I would have to talk to the teacher. I know Mr. Zolik, that's between CTE, between industry recognized credentialing with Adobe, Microsoft. There's a lot of conversations. There's a lot going on. CCP, I'd have to get back to you.
Okay.
But it's a lot for a teacher. I mean, the master's plus 9 hours in that content, and it's like the time for the teacher to do this because it's basically you're going back to get another master's.
Yeah.
So, our teachers at the high school specifically do a ton. I think 100% of them are in charge of one, if not two, different clubs. So, kudos to these guys for their hard
Do
work.
we have like a number of teachers who are currently working on that CCP certification?
I'd have to ask Mrs. Fishel.
Do you know how many? Just more than a couple?
I'm not aware of any.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, well, that's.
But the
thanks.
topic, I
Okay.
know recently there was some psychology, some discussions on, I would possibly do that, but it's a big, I mean, you're doing this
Big
on the
undertaking.
weekend at
Yeah.
home, getting another master's, so.
Which we would have to pay for.
Yeah, yeah, we would reimburse that, but it's worth it if we can get more of our kids to
Yes.
take it with our staff. Like when kids are with their teachers, great things happen, and it's like we want more kids with our staff. But it's one of the,
No, it's a time thing, I get that, yeah, I get that, that's asking a lot.
And then the other difference was utility electricity. So we are part of the Power for Schools that helps keep our rates down, but they have gone up, and that makes up the other difference.
Okay.
Those are the main areas. I mean,
Thank
that's the
you.
kind of trend.
Thank you, it was a big jump, so I was thank you, that's very helpful.
And you had a question about the ESC per pupil charge and
Yeah.
other objects. So the one revised code number, we have to, when we contract the ESC, it's a revised code. If you're under like 16 units, it's a $6.50 per charge ADM that gets deducted as part of the ESC deduction on the foundation statement. So it's a coding thing, that's why it's coded there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think the other one had to do with the renewal levy, which I addressed.
You just did that. Thank you.
So if you have any questions about the forecast, there's not much change from the fall. There are some updates, so our benefits was trending a little bit lower just based on, I think, some of the transportation, hiring certain personnel that were some more plans or less, so I updated for that and trended forward.
Alright, Tyler moves. I'll second. Liz seconds, all in favor? Alright, pass. Alright, grants.
Yeah, as Dr. Foley mentioned, we got a lot of grants over the last month, which is we're very excited about. So I don't know if you want to highlight the one, I think team that you guys applied for a couple years ago that we just heard back, about updating some kind of cybersecurity, update some kind of, we're looking to change because of a certain program we already got.
Goal. We were very excited to get this, and big shout out to Mr. Hassey. We were very excited to get this, and big shout out to Mr. Hassey. He and I, in our team, we all talk every day about safety. We were very excited about this grant as well as another grant we received earlier in the year. Thanks, man.
And then just a second round of the How Tech grant that uses training for AI.
Yeah, so we're really pivoting. We've met with the staff several times, and AI was one thing. I know at the high school specifically, a lot of AI questions. So we write grants, and with those grants, we get AI professional development. And it is, I mean, Mr. Zolik is an expert in.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, but it is what's going on with AI and our AI policy and updating our AI policy and so forth. So that's what that grant was for, that professional development.
What was the total of the grants that were received?
Over $138,000. We still have a couple grants out there that I haven't received yet. And it's a process to go through and apply. I have a couple more I'm applying, but it's really awesome to see. The last time we had this amount was when they gave us COVID dollars for things. they don't give that out anymore. So, you know, we're going after more. I'd like to go after a distance learning grant where we'll get some Mondo boards in the middle school and high school affixed with cameras so we can do some distance learning. Mining company. There's a lot of opportunities to get kids with the career tech aptitudes that we've been discussing and to see these careers. So we're really, really excited for the future of our district.
All right, any questions? Motion that the South Branch Local School Board of Education approve the following grants.
I'll move.
Liz moves.
No, Laura
I'm
moves.
sorry, Laura moves. Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Appropriations update?
Yeah, just updating to amend to the expected expenditures and then also the grants, just moving the revenue, then the appropriate for that, so that we can start to look to spend. So that's one of the major, most of the changes are.
Any questions?
I'll move.
Tyler moves.
Second.
Jack seconds. All in favor? And the rates and property?
Yeah, there's a sale, so the one law firm that kind of looks at any kind of property tax disputes notice a sale that went way above the property valuation. So, but with all these property tax bills, I don't know if we even see the new revenue, but it's a significant increase to help the district. But time will tell how much we'll see with the property tax bill changes.
Any questions?
It was like $130,000 when we looked into it. It's crazy.
I did not forecast that.
It'd be nice to
Keep that one out.
I'll move.
Second.
Tyler moves. Do I have a second?
Sure.
Laura seconds. All in favor? Student activity and budget?
We're just doing some ski programs, I think, yeah. And then just squeezing in the budget purpose to spend on the obvious. So.
Okay. Motion? I'll move. Liz moves.
Second.
Jack seconds. All in favor? Aye. Bus purchase?
Yeah, Brenda and I think her team went out to Myers. They, another district, obviously placing their fleet, that's I guess very good condition that she wanted to buy. Was below the threshold to cover fit it, but she said it was in great condition. So instead of buying a brand new one, we were able to find one that she really likes, put that to our fleet at below it now. So we'll pay for this out of that capital projects. Yeah, we fund bus purchase, which we transfer money to. So when you look at the forecast, that other expenses line where we transfer. So
In which this is below what was forecasted, so it'll actually show savings.
yeah.
Yep. I'll move.
Tyler moves.
Second.
Jack seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Donations?
The foundation, I think they applied for something that they wanted to get to. Yeah, sorry, we're Bronx, but yeah.
Motion? Laura moves.
I'll second it, thank you.
Jack seconds.
Thank you.
And pass. All right. Superintendent, regular agenda items.
Yeah, so with all the high school changes, this is all placed in a curriculum guide Mrs. Berkey works on with the team, and this just documents every year, you know, revisions and changes and the feedback from the staff. So this is located, once you board approve it, it will be on the website.
Motion?
I'll move.
Tyler moves. I'll second. Liz seconds. All in favor? All right. 2025-2026 gifted procedures.
Yeah, this is an annual motion resolution. Every year, ODEW makes changes to grade levels and cut scores and cognitive assessments. So when they do that, then we have to go through and update our gifted services plan. We have to revise it to align with the law and so forth. So recently, you can see with River Insight, there was a change on the cut score. So then we have to go through our handbook and update that, and then the board has to redo it.
Any questions? Motion?
I'll move.
Jack moves. I'll second. Liz seconds. All in favor? Okay. Tilly lease with West and West.
Yeah, this is an annual resolution for the land next to Little Raiders that we work with them to.
I'll move.
Tyler moves.
One second.
Laura seconds. All in favor? College Credit Plus with Stark County.
I addressed it earlier. If you have any questions, let me know.
Motion,
Oh man.
Liz moves,
I'll second.
Tyler seconds, all in favor? All right, board policy considerations for March 2025
So
adoption.
these are all first reads. You have this month to go through them all. Thank you, Ms. Chismore, for
Actually,
attempting
did that read 2026?
2026 adoption.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, I mean,
Why are you thanking me? What did I do?
you're starting to read them. They are.
Oh, sorry.
They are fun. I mean,
They were-
you'll see the strike throughs. It's a lot of language updates. Notice the notes I went through and tried to summarize. We meet with the Neola representative who works to put all these. So you guys have a month. The board has a month to review these. If you have any questions, let me know.
I do have a question.
A lot of revisions, yeah.
One of them, it was the AI training. It said it was a replacement policy, but it said that we will provide AI training to our staff periodically. What does that word mean?
So it's what we're doing right now. So we have an AI person coming in to give professional development as well as next year, we have these online courses called Vector.
Okay.
And now with AI being a mandate through a policy, I'll probably have to add a Vector course.
Will this be?
I apologize. I apologize.
That AI grant that we have, or you already have that consent?
Yeah.
Okay, because the way AI is changed over the last couple of years, I would like to think that term periodically is more of a quarterly term than a yearly term.
So this is that we're teaching teachers, we're providing the legal understanding of AI in schools, which is the Vector, which they all have. We have a professional development plan of what you're discussing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So on that note, and I may have missed it when I read through that, do we have a code of conduct for AI?
So the code of conduct,
Like dedicated, I don't remember seeing it in
it's not specified, so you don't want multiple code of conducts.
targeting, essentially saying, we will use this judiciously upon
Correct.
students, especially as they get older. to say,
Correct.
Hey, we realize this is an opportunity, we should not use this.
Correct. So our team chose the one that says teachers can discipline for plagiarism. It's in there, so that is on the policy, but then we refer to code of conduct violations. So that's how, because you don't want multiple code
You're
of
just
conduct.
referring back to the original code of conduct, which
But
kind
it
of covers
says
everything.
to
Okay.
follow the appropriate use
Okay.
of AI.
I just didn't, so that was the one actually field in my mind was, the plagiarism issue, I think, can get hairy, like, actually. Dr. Polito might actually know some of this. I'm seeing AI cited in some of our journal articles now.
Really?
And so that's kind of why I'm bringing up, is this something we should just be saying, hey, is this gonna be a site source that we should be using for the kids? Because the purpose of, at least in my mind, when we do these papers with them, is to just teach them the creative writing process. It's not always about exactly how they're doing, or exactly what they're writing, but to go through the process. If you're skipping the process, you're defeating the purpose, right? So that was the only thing I didn't see in the body of text on that AI policy.
Correct, yeah, and we actually, Dean and myself, we selected that option specific to that.
Okay.
And then this year, the high school staff, we actually put it out for individuals to pilot this year, but there's a AI technology for plagiarism software that if teachers want it for their classroom, we purchased for the teachers this year.
Okay.
So moving forward, again, this isn't evolving.
I realize this is going to be ever changing, but it's just
Paper, pencil.
I mean, maybe there's educational studies coming out on that now too.
Remember the chalkboards?
I like the chalkboard. It's a good medium.
Any other thing?
I did want to highlight one change in the law, which means a change with our policy is kindergarten. Kindergarten now is, the law says if they turn 5 by your first day of school, you have to admit it or later because of Labor Day. So just know that that's in there, and you'll read the law, House Bill 114, but you'll see that first reading.
But it's still by 6 by September 30th.
That for first.
It's 5 for kindergarten.
Yeah. So that's in there as well. So if you have any questions on any of those, I can.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, motion to approve the first read for the policies.
Second.
Laura moves, Jack seconds, all in favor? All right. Now, open enrollment, 2026, 2027.
Yeah, this is the board policy that permits the district to do inter-district open enrollment with district capacity limits by grade level, school buildings, and educational programs. So I updated everyone back in January with this vote, then we will move forward, or not move forward, but move forward with what our capacity numbers are. We will populate the website. I will not know that for kindergarten yet until we have the kindergarten registration, which is next week. So we did meet recently with the administrative team. They did tell me that capacity number, and this year we're going to publish that capacity number on the website so people can see exactly what it is and so forth.
And so voting no on this would include all current open enrollment?
Correct.
So it's all or nothing? Yes.
Correct, and we love all of our Raiders. I just can't thank enough of all of our Raiders and their contributions to this district.
So I just want to make sure everyone was clear.
Yep.
I do have a couple questions. I know it is brought to my attention and a couple other board members about families renting, especially high school students, having their families rent so they could come here and play sports. And I had you look into the stipulations with that there was paperwork and a site evaluation. On that site evaluation, I would like you, myself, and we'll pick another member to do that site evaluation. Because the last thing we want is South Range to get saying that we're recruiting, because that affects all of our sports.
So if someone rents an apartment, they're considered a resident, but with Mrs. Lally, through the Ohio Athletic Association, there's procedures, there's paperwork, and there's, you have to do certain things. So you hit the nail on the head with that, and that would be the process, yeah. So, great question. It's not necessarily open enroll, because in that case, that's a resident per se, but they have to provide evidence of this residency.
So, right,
Yeah.
providing evidence instead of going through our open enrollment process
Right.
when they're originally from a different district.
Correct.
How would you know? Just because we know?
No, you have to prove them.
You have to prove.
Yeah.
You have to
site
provide your
residence.
residence just to enroll, period. Even if you live in district. They ask for like the details.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when you
Right.
enter.
So it's for everybody, I think.
Yeah.
And that would be through, if a 10th grader comes in and is a new resident, we would obviously have to open our doors regardless of capacity. However, that stipulation would be through the Ohio High School Athletic Association?
No, so if they were here for sports, so let's say someone is renting an apartment for athletics, and you're on whatever sport it is, and you're competing, and it's like you turned in data to say that I'm renting this apartment. There's certain procedures to let OSHA know, like, no, this person's actually living there, and so forth. So there's an actual procedure, because it's an issue throughout the state of, oh, I'm renting this place, but they're not.
Has this been an issue in our district recently? Or is, I don't know who may have brought this up, but is it a current issue?
There have been a few students who have actually bought places in the district that had to prove that they were living there. That did happen, I would say about 8 years ago. Because it was when he was a freshman, because he graduated with my son. And we had to do a walkthrough. Yeah, because they're just, people just buying houses, just saying that's the residence, just to go to South Range. So there are stipulations with Ohio Athletic Association.
In our
So there's your
open,
question, yes.
Yeah.
in our open enrollment policy, we actually, because we revised a lot of those administrative guidelines. If there's any falsification of documentation, that's an automatic denial. So there are several aspects of what not to do, and we're just like, be honest, so. But that's in the open enrollment. The open enrollment guidelines are quite extensive,
and I know I went over Mrs.
You
Tristan.
did. So, yeah, we talked a lot about open enrollment, and in the years, it's no secret, I've had comments, I've made comments about open enrollment. And it turns out that my problem with open enrollment is not the open enrollment policy itself, which states we are either an open enrollment school or we are not. My problem is within the administrative guidelines within that policy that I think in the past had been abused. They're abusive, in my opinion, to a lot of the staff, and I don't think the students were getting the best education here with the high volume of students we had. So with that being said, I think after conversations with these two that our open enrollment policy of being an open school district should remain. But I think the guidelines within it need reviewed extensively.
Maybe to reduce our numbers of how many.
To reduce our numbers, yes. And I'll go back to what Rich has said more than one occasion, and I have as well, that having an entire classroom full of open enrollment students, that entire classroom of those students doesn't pay for that teacher, let alone all of the other resources that are being utilized. So I also understand in that brings us a bit of a quandary as we get older. We've talked about this too. As the kids get into middle school and high school, the teachers can certainly handle more kids. And the problem is our bottleneck is in kindergarten, and I'm not sure how we as a district open that and get more kids to come in at 5th grade and then at high school. Once kids are in high school, they don't want to move. They don't want to come to a new district, and I understand that. But without the numbers that we currently have, our programs in the high school suffer drastically. Mm-hmm. We have a few programs, I don't know the numbers, Mr. Zolik, I can need to see you about it, but how many programs we have that have 10 students or less in them. If we didn't have that open enrollment, we might not have some of those programs. And that is what brings some of the kids here too. So without those programs, our open enrollment numbers might just go down anyways. So I don't know what the problem here, I don't know how to fix it, but after the conversation, I still firmly believe that having huge kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade classrooms and 30% of them being open enrollment, I think is still a problem. But that is either here nor there for this policy. I still think we need to have open enrollment to be able to operate our school district, because I don't think we can survive on 50 students in a grade. So,
did you pull the numbers I asked? How many open enrollment?
4%.
4% is our staff, and what is the total open enrollment?
About 29 points. No, I'll have that updated once we go through the process this year.
Okay. The total is 29.
29% in the district.
Okay, and then take away the 4%, so it's 25.
Correct.
Okay, any other questions?
No, I mean, so again, I agree actually a lot with what you said, Laura. So big picture in my mind, looking at this is, this year has shown us there's a lot of legislative volatility, right? There's a lot of things we don't know what's going to happen property tax wise. There was a consolidation, there was a projection on what schools might consolidate. I agree that a drastic downsize probably would not be a safe play right now. I think there's something to be said for having a healthy and robust school, both for people who get to access the school, but also people who live here. It offers value to the community, it offers property value, it makes it a desirable place to live. There's pros and cons to both, right? But also I would agree that and to Mr. Frenchek's point, I think it would be unwise to not look at opportunity, whether it's attritional, to focus in, economization monetarily that might benefit the school by bottlenecking it at a younger age group, and also that might result in better ratios for kids as well for teaching. So I think it would be prudent to look at those opportunities if they're coming in the pipe to help on those numbers at a younger age, but also I think it's unwise to just go in and slash things out right now. We don't know. You don't want to, if we have something happen where funding becomes an issue and you're gonna talk major consolidation, or God forbid it were to look like Virginia and all of a sudden you have county-run Board of Education, county-run superintendents, you don't wanna be a shrinking district. And there's been a ton of up and downs right now. So in this moment, I agree with you, I think. And also I think if we fell below the guarantee right now, it'd be hard.
We won't.
I don't think we could cut enough. We'd have to cut so much in educational opportunity that would affect the kids that were left here. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be looking how to streamline things at the opening gate right now in the elementary school, right? If those opportunities are coming about naturally, which I think there might be actually.
Yeah.
So, again, 2 cents, don't know what it's worth.
I made the comment in maybe it was January meeting or something about how whenever we were negotiating the contracts with the teachers union about, setting parameters for classroom size and limiting, I think we're at 88 for the kindergarten or whatever, and that was in an effort to manage that class size. So I just want everybody to understand that, like, it's been a thought. Like, we've thought that through as far as, what's the maximum capacity that we could run without being, having a bad ratio as far as student to teacher wise. So I agree with what you guys said. I wish there was I wish there was an easy answer, especially with all of the funding stuff, and we had perfect clarity of what exactly was going to happen. But for now, there's no way. There's no way, and I would, if they're here, I think that all of our families that are here, they're part of our family now. So
Absolutely. I think we have to look at too, with us moving back where we are starting date, that coming in kindergarten, we're gonna have younger kids, which are gonna need a little bit more help.
We got another month too, we
Yeah.
got another month worth of kids coming, age-wise.
Right.
That we would have anticipated.
one thing I did have a question. So you said you were going to post the capacity, like that's by grade level?
Yeah.
Okay, so is there a cutoff date that we're going to set for that? Because the last thing that we need is, it's bound to happen, is, a class gets full and then 2 resident kids move in. Now all of a sudden that number's inaccurate. Like, what's our cutoff date? Is it application time, or is it?
We have a deadline for it.
There's that. I just want, can you explain? Can you explain that first? Like, so that's our.
Yeah, so we meet with the principals and they tell us that number. So for example, 88 you brought up. So 88 is in, I don't know, 5th grade. I'm just making up a number, like, 4th grade, 88 kids. So they set that number, and then when we're doing open enrollment applications, we have a whole, because we revised those AGs and we made it very extensive.
AG's administrative guidelines.
Correct, yeah. And if students, so with residents, let's say there's 70 residents, at 88, so we could take 18 as an example. But you also got to factor in, they've been here, so like the 4th graders from the 5th grade, so you might only have a spot for 1 and 3 people show up. Well, that 1 gets in and those 2 others don't open enrollment. So that's how those numbers are set. We're going to post it on the website, I think soon, like once we get the kindergarten, which we have no clue. Kindergarten could have, to Laura's point, it could have 100 right now, or it could have under 100. We have no clue because this is brand new for all kindergarten across the state. So once we get that, we actually, Steve and I have a meeting set up. We want to look at these numbers. We want to meet with the kindergarten, 1st grade teachers, be transparent, like, hey, here's where we are with numbers. Here's what we're thinking. Like, what are you guys thinking? What works? What's not going to work? And then go from there. So then we'll post that on the website, and then people know, like, hey, this is the capacity.
No, this is new open enrollment, not existing.
Correct.
I just want to make that clear.
And
New
good
open
point.
enrollment.
Good point.
Also, something that you guys did last year that was new was your tiered systems
Yes.
of if you've already been a student here, you are like scored 1 to 5. You get 5 points likely to get in, and as you tier down, if you're just a brand new family and you're trying to open enroll and you're in 5th grade, well, you're down here lower than all the rest of these
100%.
kids. So it's the fairest way you can do it. So I guess we'll see.
Is it possible, once you get the numbers, you can share those numbers with us?
Mhm.
Okay, we can take a look at it.
Yeah, it's gonna be public, you know, once we get that, like, we'll post it, everyone's gonna be able to see, like, Kay has this capacity, First has this capacity, you know, and then that's the total number, so if we had.
But you don't have your capacity yet. You wait until you get your
Yeah.
in-district
Yeah.
registrations
Because we don't know
first.
that, yeah.
Right.
And your intent to return.
Right.
Intent to return.
And have those forms gone out yet?
We're waiting for this, this
This
has to
has
happen
to
first.
observe.
Oh, that's right,
So-
it sure does, within the last year. Okay.
And we do have a small little buffer in each class, just in case residents' kids move in, correct?
No,
We do
so
not have
we
one.
have that capacity number, and that's the number, and if residents come in, then we're above.
That's what I was.
I mean, that happened a couple years ago, my first year here, Steve called me up and said, hey, this is the number, I was like, okay, great, and then it was August, we had, people move in, and it was like, whoa, we took numbers up a little bit where we weren't expecting that. So it's plus or minus, at 1 year, it could be 6, usually around 2 or 3-ish, I think Steve says he anticipates, but that happens every year.
You mean from the registration period until the first day of school? Yeah.
Even after, even middle of the year, yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Liz,
No.
that happens.
Yeah,
Homeless,
absolutely.
court place, there are things that are outside that we legally have to educate.
Right,
I'm the homeless
foster
liaison, I'm the CTE liaison, like all of these things that we have to factor in that don't go into any of this, but you have to educate.
So then, if we don't have a buffer and we have a resident child within, what happens to?
They
so-
say, I mean, they're in the numbers, but we have higher numbers. So if that number was 22, okay, now it's 24.
Which is why the consideration between the 22 was like the max we could do because of that buffer. You know, you can spread them across 4 classes. Now every teacher, you know, 3 of them have 23 and 1 has 24. I mean, you can have, and now they're here and in accordance with policy, like they stay and there's just that capacity will be a 0 as long
Yes.
as we don't lose that many kids.
In future years, then we would say this grade is closed. We'll still take your application because if people leave or, you know, so we still encourage people to
Can
turn
we
it in.
accept an open enrollment in the middle of the year?
No.
No.
I didn't think so, okay. But we could the following year if there
Correct.
was room for them.
Or like someone, because we do it in April, so we'll be there, like I'll be there with Paul at 5 in the morning, because a lot of people, so we'll start taking applications, and let's say there was someone, but then, I mean, this happened, a really nice gentleman moved to Georgia, I got a new job in Georgia, well, there's 3 kids out, you know, so it was like, well, okay, that was April, May, June, July, hey, I can call you up, it's May, and Steve does, he calls like, hey, we have a spot, or Paul, we have a spot now in this grade, that was when it was full, and you're first on the list, because there's that whole order now.
So you have until the first day of school to
No,
accept?
June 1st.
June 1st to
Yeah.
accept the open enrollment,
And,
okay.
and just because, like, I'll just use some plain numbers here. So if you're at 88 in the elementary school and you get 4 moved in between, you know, first day of school, now you're at 92. A kid moves out middle of the year. That does not open a spot.
No.
That is, you're still 3 above the ultimate number that we decided on. So just for clarity purposes, that's not, just because somebody moves out doesn't mean there's a spot open.
Correct.
Any other questions? Alright. Motion to approve open enrollment,
I'll move.
Is that Jack?
Jack moves, second,
Second.
Laura seconds, let's go have a roll call, please.
Jack Dawson.
Yes.
Laura Chismark.
Yes.
Tyler Bates.
Yes.
Elizabeth Johnson.
Yes.
Terry Lau.
Yes. Passes. Alright. Public participation for non-agenda items. You have 2 minutes.
All right, I'll start. I'd like to know how you get 88 as a number when we have 50 or 60 kids pretty much every grade level. To me, that's 3 teachers. So we're using open enrollment as an employment opportunity to keep teachers. And I don't want to see teachers get fired. But we should start, as people are retiring, I believe Mrs. Poole's gonna retire in December. I can't believe Kim Masucci has too much longer, Mrs. Beck. You have a bunch of older teachers over the next couple of years that are going to retire, okay? As that happens, you don't need to replace them. That's the whole problem. When my kids were here, I can't remember what it was, but there were about 110 kids in a grade level, and we still had 4 teachers. So we had bigger class sizes. So I don't know where this 88 thing is coming from. On a macro issue, I don't know how how much attention you guys pay to the whole property tax thing. But there is a very good possibility property tax repeal will be voted on this November. I was at a Republican meeting last week with some state reps. They cited 2 polls of likely Republican voters. In one poll, 78% are for it. In the other poll, it's 82%. Vivek Ramaswamy, I answered a poll for his campaign last night in which he said one of the things he wants to look for is a constitutional amendment to eliminate property tax. If that happens, everything you talked about tonight, it doesn't matter. Because you guys are going to be forced. There's 610 school districts in Ohio. There should be about 250 to 300. You need to start approaching people to look for partners to merge with. Canfield needs a new building. This is a beautiful building. Slam the 2 together. It would, but that's I understand that. Politically, that's probably not possible right now. After the November election, it may be your best bet. But you have to start looking out for the taxpayer. I don't think you folks really understand the animosity that exists out there for property tax, but it is huge. It's happening, and you're going to have to address it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Other matters? Next meeting.
I have a question.
Hold on.
Ask anybody else they want to talk to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
That's okay. Paul Munson. First off, thank you for voting yes for me today. That was appreciated. But on the open enrollment thing, I'm glad you guys passed it. It's obviously been a hot topic in our community. But you talk about the numbers. I graduated 30 years ago from here with 88 kids, and there was no open enrollment. Now you talk about class sizes that are about 88 to 90 kids with open enrollment. So if we get rid of open enrollment, which you didn't tonight, which I appreciate, but looking at it going forward, if we do what he is suggesting, where you're getting rid of teachers and having smaller classes, you talked about it last month. We won't be South Range. South Range won't exist anymore because you have smaller classes, smaller enrollment. You then have to go and consolidate with somebody else. And you don't have the South Range that we grew up with. Open enrollment, in my opinion, is not the problem. The problem is, yes, you have kids coming from K through 8, stays about the same. When they get to the high school, they spread out a little bit, go out to the JVS, go online so they're not in the building. The problem that I see is, especially at the elementary level, is you took away the people who helped those teachers out in their classroom. And you've got 23, 24 kids in there and one teacher. Yes, it might be a little overwhelming at sometimes, but they need the aides that help them out in there. Not getting rid of open enrollment so there's less teachers and less kids. They need the help back there is what they need. Not saying, okay, these kids don't come here anymore, or we're not opening our doors anymore to these kids, and we're just gonna keep the kids who live here stay here. Okay, that's great, but then you're not gonna be here anymore. You're gonna be, like he said, we're gonna be Canfield. We're gonna combine with Springfield. We're gonna combine with Jackson Milton or one of those schools. That's what's gonna happen if you say, don't hire these people, don't bring these people, like they're retired, don't bring anybody else in. The sizes of the classrooms are not the problem. They weren't when I was here, Terry, Laura, they weren't when you guys were here, Jack. The sizes have all been about the same, sometimes bigger.
Well, and I'll address a little bit of that. That's true. However, when you were in kindergarten, you went half day.
Every other.
You were every other?
Yeah.
You were half day, weren't you?
No, we were every other.
So either way, you were every other. So they were able to have more kindergartners with the same number
Okay,
of
but
teachers.
to banter back to you for a second, how long have we been full-time, Monday through Friday, 4 classrooms
I don't know.
of kindergartners?
How long has that been?
It's been at least 15 years.
Since you've been in
Exactly.
this building, if not sooner?
Yes. Say that, Mr. Mays, I'm sorry?
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
23 years.
But it,
Okay.
and to go back to Paul's point, but it was just 3 years ago that we lost those full-time aides in each kindergarten classroom. So That is,
That's a huge problem.
it is being addressed. Thank you, Paul. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we've actually, Dr. Zapolnik and I have been sitting down, looking out the kindergarten numbers and having additional aides in there, especially since, like we talked about, having the younger children come in. We want to make sure they have the help that they need.
I mean, the FTA kids and the mentors can only do so much in the high school because they're not certified to do that stuff. And they want to do it, but they're not certified to do it.
Oh, sorry.
I know, but
Any other questions?
I just would like to point out this is actually a consortium of the old North Lima High School and Greenford High School. So this is actually a merged district.
We know.
Oh, we know.
From 19.
So, but I mean, yeah, but the problem is there aren't any kids. If you look at your demographics, there are just no kids. We have
There,
to
you
merge
guys can
school
go.
districts.
Back to you
All
guys.
right.
We can, but as a
Any other questions?
Not a question, just a thank you, twofold thank you. One, for the special meeting that you had in renewing Jared's contract. The man's got a passion for the school, and I appreciate that, and thank you for what you did here tonight with the open house.
Yeah, I have another matter.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay.
Are we done? Any other public participation? It's been a couple months since we talked about the well.
Yeah.
And I know you were waiting to hear from anybody. Did you ever hear anybody? Do you have any
That's
recommendations?
exactly what I was gonna.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
So Dean was, I don't know if you could touch on that. So there's a process.
The well,
Mhm.
yeah, the well's
What'd you
work in
hear?
progress, yes.
EPA.
The EPA apparently has another mechanism for submitting plans. I emailed our local EPA rep. She didn't get back to me, so I emailed her back. I said, what's going on with this? And she then informed me that, oh, there's this new method you have to follow. So I've been emailing Jared. He's been CC'd on it. So that process is moving forward, but it's not moving forward as quickly as we'd like it to. But I'm hopeful that by the next board meeting, I'll have a better update on where we're at.
What's your timeline on wanting to secure somebody to do this work? Like how much
We don't
time
have
do
to
they
do
need?
it as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. We are currently running off of
Right.
one.
Right.
And that's not really what I meant. I meant with the contractors. How far are these guys out? Are they 3-4 months out or
No,
you?
we shouldn't have
Okay.
that big of an issue. Dean's been in contact with them. They understand that we're a little bit different of a situation.
Okay.
because the whatever, so I don't see that being an issue.
Okay, good.
Unless they come back to you with anything different, but
No.
they're.
Okay.
No, parking lot and well, and actually it might be well for us to have the two near the same time because in case they have to go across the parking lot, that would obviously have to be repaved if we are trenching instead of boring. So those are some things that
Yeah, there's
could work together.
And then the lot, the parking lot, we're working on with through Pay Connect, our third party. That should be progressing, going out soon for.
And we're getting bids too.
Yeah, that'll obviously be public bid for.
For the parking lot across where the buses and everything are too. So I
Yeah,
know it's
just
not-
this side.
Yeah, just this side.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we had talked about being, we have, I've talked about it at length before, but the facility needs to be upkept and maintained, and we've used the opportunity of the reappraisals to take some of that money that hasn't ever been put away into a capital improvements fund to create and develop a facilities management program to where we can, instead of having to move large amounts of money like we had to with the reappraisal, we're going to continuously move smaller amounts of money so we're not seeing large impacts, and it's easier to forecast for Mario on the forecast. But essentially, with everything going on with the uncertainties with the legislations and stuff like that, we thought it was best to just do the necessary side over here, and we'll figure that out when the dust settles with the legal or the political landscape and the bills coming forward. The last thing we want to do is overcommit to spending on a parking lot across the street whenever that wasn't necessarily a necessity, but more of a want. So let's focus on what really matters, and that's getting the teachers, the students, and the buses in and out of this lot safely, and people to and from, and we'll deal with that at a separate time. So that's my thought. If anybody has anything to add or any different thoughts, I'm open to them, but thank you.
All right, so the next board meeting will be on March 18th, 2026 at 6 o'clock. And I talked to you guys individually about doing like a special board meeting with the evaluations coming up that I'll reach out to you and see what days are good for you. So you were talking, but so evaluations for Mario and Dr. Zaponik to go over that and maybe go over the ESC. If you have any questions on that, because we have to vote on that next time. So it'll be before our next March meeting, and I will reach out to you to see what date is good.
And then that would be open, public.
Yeah, it's
Public
yes,
work
it's a work session,
Not an
special
executive.
meeting. No, it's a work session. All right. So motion to adjourn.
I'll do that one.
Laura.
Yep.
Second.
Tyler seconds. All in favor?
Yep.
Okay, and the time?
7:33.